All right, we want to say welcome to each and every one of you who are joining us here today. We're going to get this press conference started in just a moment. Thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedules. We're joined today by a broad bipartisan coalition from both the State Assembly and State Senate who are fighting to fix the CAL FIRE firefighter shortage. We're going to get started in about 30 seconds as we bring additional folks into the room. And thank you all for joining us. I want to say how grateful we are to each of the members of the legislature who are with us. I want to say thank you to the CAL FIRE firefighters who are with us as well. All right, we're going to get started here. Again, thank you so much, each and every one of you, for joining us. We wanted to be able to provide a briefing this morning on our efforts to protect the health and safety of our state's firefighting force and how to make California communities more fire safe. My name's Mike McGuire, and I'm honored to be able to partner with each and every member of the legislature advancing a plan to fix the CAL FIRE firefighter shortage. We are joined by a bipartisan group of legislators, and I'd like to be able to introduce them. We're going to hear from them in just a few moments. He's been with us from the very beginning. It's been one of his personal priorities. We're grateful that we have Senator Bob Hertzberg with us today. Senator Hertzberg, good morning. We're grateful that we have Assemblymember Luz Rivas, who's joining us today. He has been focused on enhanced firefighting levels, as well as making our state more fire resilient. Senator Bill Dodd, thank you so much for joining us. We're grateful that Assemblymember Freddie Rodriguez is with us today. We want to say good morning to Senator Susan Rubio. Thank you so much, Senator Rubio. Good morning to Assemblymember Laura Friedman. Thank you so much, Assemblymember. We want to say how grateful we are that Senator Shannon Grove is with us. We want to say a good morning to Assemblymember Wendy Carrillo, as well as Assemblymember Blanca Rubio. Good morning, Assemblywoman. It's wonderful to see you. We're also joined by the president of CAL FIRE Firefighters Local 2881, Tim Edwards. We have representatives of the hardworking women and men of CAL FIRE with us as well. Thank you for your sacrifice, your hard work each and every year on behalf of the people of California. We're joined today by CAL FIRE Fire Captain Angel Hendry, as well as CAL FIRE Fire Captain Omar Ali. I want to be candid. California is facing a firefighter shortage, and we can't wait another year to fix it. This morning, this bipartisan group of members from the legislature are announcing a groundbreaking piece of legislation will be introduced in the next few weeks to fix the CAL FIRE firefighter shortage. This legislation will be bipartisan, and it's going to propose a modern-day staffing plan for CAL FIRE that will include the following. Number one, immediately hire an additional 1,124 firefighters. The second point, we're going to propose the hiring of 356 new full-time firefighters to get to full staffing on its engines. When you compare CAL FIRE engine staffing to other departments across the state, the United States Forest Service has over 3 firefighters on their engines each and every year. Most local and municipal departments in Southern and Northern California have 3 firefighters on their engines. CAL FIRE has 2.7. CAL FIRE only achieves 3 people per engine when forced overtime is implemented. 3 firefighters on an engine would become a new mandated minimum in this legislation. We're also advancing a mandated minimum for firefighting hand crews. To start this investment immediately, the legislation would mandate 16 additional hand crews of 48 firefighters each to provide on-the-ground support during fire season, to proactively move on defensible space and fire prevention projects, and to protect vulnerable communities. In total, with these 2 steps, up to 1,124 firefighters would be added to the ranks of CAL FIRE. We also know more will need to be done, which is why we're also proposing a modern-day staffing plan for CAL FIRE. The legislation would mandate a staffing study would be returned back to the legislature, as well as the governor, within 1 year of this bill being enacted. The completion of this study is desperately needed and should have been completed years ago. Look, the alarm, it couldn't be sounding louder. Our state has faced unprecedented destructive wildfires. 14 of the largest 20 wildfires in California history have occurred just in the last decade. Mega fires are threatening the way of life for millions of Californians, destroying tens of thousands of homes and businesses. Over 30 billion in insured losses have gripped this state in the fire seasons of 2017, 2018, and 2020. Billions more have occurred since the fire season of 2020. Wildfires have severely threatened or impacted our water, our air quality. Who would have thought just 10 years ago, schools would be canceled or students would be forced indoors for weeks on end due to smoke days each and every year? Critical watersheds, drinking water supplies, and wildlife are all now being threatened by wildfires. Fixing the CAL FIRE firefighter shortage will help make sure we can fight these wildfires and protect our communities and our environment. I want to just say this. We need to fix the CAL FIRE firefighter shortage for the health and safety of CAL FIRE firefighters who are the gold standard of America's firefighting force. No firefighter wants to talk about what I'm about to say. But this shortage, it's threatening the lives and mental health of CAL FIRE firefighters in every corner of the Golden State. The severe shortage is putting the health and safety of our firefighters at risk. Due to staff shortages, firefighters are working long overtime hours and many times up to 40 days in a row without a single day off. When these firefighters are deployed, they're working in incredibly traumatic conditions for weeks on end, year after year after year. And what we know, working long overtime hours, 40 days in a row, away from their families is leading to significant stress and mental health challenges among the CAL FIRE ranks. This is a disturbing statistic. Over the last 4 years, there have been over 54,000 calls, over 54,000 calls that have been made by firefighters to state mental health hotlines. This is unacceptable. The men and women who are the heart of CAL FIRE would never say this out loud, but many are at the breaking point. What's been happening over the last decade in the state with the rise of mega fires and not enough staffing, it simply isn't sustainable. With the numbers of firefighters that we have on the lines today, CAL FIRE firefighters have dedicated their lives to keep us safe. Now we as a state, we need to step up and keep them safe. We need to fight for firefighters, and we have to once and for all fix the CAL FIRE firefighter shortage. Fixing the CAL FIRE firefighter shortage is plainly and simply the right thing to do to keep our firefighters safe and to protect all of California from the still growing threat of mega fires. I would now like to turn this event over to Tim Edwards, president of Local 2881. He represents the thousands of hardworking women and men who call CAL FIRE their home. Mr. President, the floor is yours.
Good morning. My name is Tim Edwards. I'm the president of CAL FIRE Local 2881. I represent the men and women of CAL FIRE, your state fire department. We protect from Oregon to Mexico. We control over 120 city fire departments and over 30 county fire departments, and we are charged with protecting over 33.3 acres of state responsibility land. We have been doing this with less resources than we had 40 years ago. The mental toll that is now being taken on my members is showing not only on them, but in their families. Not only do they spend 40 days away from home, they do that multiple times a year because of the lack of staffing. We are very appreciative of the legislators led by Senator McGuire to finally address this issue that should have been addressed over the last few years. It is no longer when, it is now that this needs to be addressed, because we cannot afford another loss of life because someone has a mental health issue. So I am very appreciative that this group of legislators are here today to start this legislation. Thank you.
President Edwards, we're grateful for your leadership. Thank you so much for joining us, and please send our sincere thanks and gratitude to the men and women who call CAL FIRE their career and their home. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Speaking brave women and men, we're grateful that Captain Angel Hendry is with us. Captain Hendry, good morning. The floor is yours.
Good morning. My name is Angel Hendry, and I am a captain with CAL FIRE in the San Diego unit. 20 of the most destructive fires in our history have occurred in the last 2 decades, with the worst of them being in the last 3 years. I have been a firefighter for over 26 years. My husband, who is also a firefighter, has been on the job for 40 years. We are a CAL FIRE family. My husband and I have 16-year-old twins. Raising them in this line of work can be challenging at times. My mother lives with us, helping to raise our children. Working these long hours, these weeks on end, is not how it is supposed to be. So often when we come back from long fire assignments where we have been on duty for 40 plus days, we are going right back to our fire stations where we are held on duty with no end in sight. I admit I have at least one emotional breakdown every fire season from exhaustion and from missing my children. I am missing out on the little things with them. These are life events and time that I will never get back. They are going away to college soon, and I need to be here for them. The cost to the firefighters due to these long stretches of being held on duty is tragic. Months on the front line, loss of marriages, strain on their family. Mental health issues that have resulted in thousands of phone calls to the mental health line asking for help. In worst cases, members have taken their own lives. In 2017, my station partner of 3 years took his own life one morning after getting off shift. Being stuck on duty for long periods of time took a toll on his mental health and his marriage. He left behind a son. We, the frontline firefighters of CAL FIRE, support Senator McGuire and his colleagues in this endeavor. So thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Captain Hendry, we are grateful that you'd be with us. Thank you for sending those wishes out and for those personal words. Thank you for all of your work and your commitment to this state.
Thank you so much.
We now would like to be able to turn it over to Captain Ali. Captain, the floor is yours.
Good morning, Senator. Thank you for having me. Like I said, my name's Omar Ali. I'm a captain with CAL FIRE in the San Diego unit, and I've been a firefighter for over 20 years now. The crisis that's been discussed today with the firefighter shortage is real, and it's getting a lot worse. As a scheduling coordinator, I can see firsthand the amount of force hires being assigned on a weekly, if not a daily basis, because I'm personally assigning them. So I'm the one that makes the call to our members, letting them know that there's no relief for them, that they're going to remain on duty and they're not going home. But many times I'm making that same call to my wife and kids, letting them know that I'm not going home because I had to force myself. So in CAL FIRE, firefighters work a 72-hour work week. So this means that at a minimum, we're away from our families 3 days a week. Now you start adding 1 forced day, 2 forced days, 3 forced days. Now you're gone 6 days. And that's not even taking into account fire assignments, where we could be gone for weeks or even months. I know for a fact this happens on a weekly basis to many of our members in the Riverside unit. So I get 1 day off a week at best. So now if you compare a 72-hour work week with a normal 40-hour work week side by side, someone working 40 hours a week would have to work 18 years to match the number of hours worked by a CAL FIRE firefighter within a 10-year span. So believe me when I say that we love our jobs, we love what we do, we love the people we work with, and we do it with pride. But the workload is taking a huge toll on our brothers and sisters and our families at home, and we need help. I'm pleased to work with all our colleagues from across the state to highlight this problem because it is statewide. And together we urge you policymakers to budget appropriately for inevitable disasters. I'd like to thank all the representatives for being here today, especially Senator McGuire for spearheading this cause. Thank you for your time.
Captain Ali, thank you so much. This is a team effort. We're grateful to be working with you and to have each of these members of the legislature in the lead. Thank you so much, Captain Ali. It's good to see you.
My pleasure.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now would like to be able to turn it over to these dedicated members of the legislature. The first individual who I'm going to be introducing has been with us from the very beginning. This has been a personal priority for him. I'd like to be able to turn it over to Senator Robert Hertzberg from the great city of LA.
Thank you, Mr. Majority Leader. I appreciate it very much. Just a couple of brief comments. The most sacred of all of our responsibilities in government, our mission in government, at any level, is to protect the lives and health of our people. That's it. And if you look at what's going on, we just heard a very eloquent introduction by the majority leader in terms of the impact of what we've seen in these fires. I just was talking to Mr. Garaducci, who told me 32 counties were under major disaster declarations just in 2020. We've seen the numbers, and what we heard here today is the impact on folks that work for California. It is our duty as legislators, it is our duty in government to fix it, to make it work, to folks that are fighting these extraordinary challenges for us and the numbers that we've seen. So I will tell you, Captain Henry, and I will tell you, Captain Ali, that I joined this coalition and that I pledge to work my heart out to make this happen. It is the right and appropriate thing to do, and it's a little overdue. But I thank you, Mr. McGuire, Mr. Majority Leader, for putting this together, and for all of my colleagues to be part of this bipartisan coalition.
Mr. Majority Leader Emeritus, I just want to say thank you. And again, we wouldn't be here today without the push of Senator Hertzberg, and we're really grateful for your focus and your fight, sir. Thank you so much. But now I'd like to be able to turn it over to Assemblymember Luz Rivas. Assemblywoman, it's wonderful to see you. Please proceed.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. I'm Assemblywoman Luz Rivas. I represent the 39th Assembly District, which is the Northeast San Fernando Valley in Los Angeles. I want to thank Senator McGuire, or Senate Majority Leader McGuire, congratulations, and CAL FIRE Local 2881 and CPF for bringing us all together today to fight for our firefighters. As chair of the Assembly Natural Resources Committee, I've made it my goal to address climate change and its consequences on our people, especially wildfires. Of the top 10 largest wildfires in our state's history, 8 of them have occurred within the past 5 years. And that's why I'm here today, to join my colleagues to fight for our firefighters. We can't expect our firefighters to do their job if their health and safety are jeopardized by this firefighter shortage. And this is why I want to take the time to thank Senator McGuire for introducing this Senate bill that I will definitely support, to create the mandated minimum staffing levels for CAL FIRE and to ensure that we are prioritizing the safety of our firefighters. Thank you to all of our firefighters for all the sacrifices that you make and for serving our communities and keeping California safe. Thanks.
Assemblywoman, I want to say thank you for your commitment. You have championed all issues of wildfire and resiliency in our communities as chairwoman of Natural Resources in the Assembly. We're incredibly grateful that you would join us today, especially with your busy schedule. Thank you so much, Assemblywoman. We now would like to be able to turn it over to another champion who have been fighting his entire career for wildfire resilience, and that's Senator Bill Dodd. Senator Dodd is going to be joining us by phone. Senator Dodd, good morning. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Senator McGuire. If you heard today, wildfire prevention and mitigation are key needs in California. We know the cost in the state in terms of environmental and human terms: GHG reduction, habitat destruction, loss of homes, health impact from business closures, and most of all, loss of life. We also know we can't prevent every wildfire, so we need to be able to contain those wildfires before they devastate our communities. We need to step up for those who literally put their lives on the line fighting for us. It has always been a dangerous and demanding job, and global climate change has magnified those risks in recent years. Our firefighters need the staffing levels, resources, and support to do their job. That's why I'm just honored to be able to join with Senator McGuire and our colleagues in fighting for our firefighters. It's about doing what's right for our firefighters and safety in our state. Thank you very much.
Senator Dodd, thank you for your commitment to this critical issue and for all of your work over the past many years on making California more fire safe. Thank you so much. He is no stranger to the issue of public safety. He comes from emergency services. We're grateful that Assemblymember Freddie Rodriguez is here. Assemblymember Rodriguez, the floor is yours. Good morning, sir.
Thank you. Good morning. We just begin by thanking all the men and women from CAL FIRE for all the hard work you do to keep us safe throughout the year. And when you don't get enough credit and recognition for the role CAL FIRE play in the state emergency management system, To me, CAL FIRE response systems and teams of firefighters are world-class. As a first responder myself for over 30 years, I know all too well the feeling of being deployed to an incident when resources are scarce or unavailable. It's one of the worst feelings in the world when you're in the middle of a disaster, trying to protect those in the time of need, don't have the additional resources needed to protect homes, and in some cases, towns. I saw this firsthand last year when I visited the Incident Command Center and those that were battling the Caldor fire firsthand as it was making its run towards South Lake Tahoe. Their resources were maxed out to the limit and an urgent need for more firefighters, and they're available. As chair of the Emergency Management Committee, I stand with all of you in this effort to add more resources to CAL FIRE and our frontline firefighters. We cannot wait another year, another record-breaking fire season without those additional firefighters and resources. So I'm glad to join with all of you this morning to ensure CAL FIRE receives their resources needed and continue to fight for our fighters 24/7, 365 days a week, a year. And once again, thank you, Senator McGuire, for leading this effort. And thank all to our firefighters, our men and women out there in the front lines, day in and day out, all the hard work you do. And believe us, we got you back. We're going to do everything we have possible to ensure you get the resources needed to do your job day in and day out. Thank you.
Senator, it's good to see you, and thank you for your commitment, sir, and for all of your leadership on the committee. We're really grateful, and thank you for joining us today. It's wonderful that you were able to be here today. Thank you so much. We now would like to be able to turn the floor over to Senator Susan Rubio, who will be able to provide some remarks in both English and Spanish. Senator Rubio, the floor is yours, and good morning.
Good morning, everyone. I'm State Senator Susan Rubio. I represent the Senate District 22, which includes the San Gabriel Mountains. But first, let me just take a moment to acknowledge our firefighters and thank you so much for always putting your lives on the line for our protection. But I also want to thank my colleague, Senator McGuire, for his leadership. I had the privilege of working with him in the last 2 years as his co-chair to our Senate Wildfire Working Group in the state of California. So I can personally attest to his dedication on this issue. I'm also very proud of the work we did last year, not only Mr. McGuire, but our entire group in negotiating $536 million in early wildfire prevention fund that focused on critical infrastructure investments, but we also wanted to put money directly into projects as soon as possible. And of course, as chair of the State Senate Insurance Committee, I'm equally committed to preventing fires to help our homeowners and save lives. But we know it's not enough, the work we've done. The work must continue. That's just a small token of appreciation for what our firefighters deserve. And that's why today I'm also proud to partner with Senator McGuire on this important plan and stand with all our colleagues here today and our firefighters to move into the next critical steps of what we've already done. And in my district alone, we had the Bobcat Fire in 2020, which was devastating, the second largest ever recorded in Los Angeles County. And of course, we know that fires of these size used to be uncommon. They've become the norm. And so as we navigate these realities, we need to ensure that we continue to protect our firefighters, the wonderful men and women who do it gladly, but risk their lives nonetheless. And for me, it is unacceptable that after long assignments, being gone for 40 days, even more, they still have to come back to their own stations and be forced into overtime because we still need their help due to staffing shortages. And it's also, to me, unacceptable that during these long hours, long days, they sacrifice a lot of their personal lives. I know that many of us just see them as firefighters, but I see mothers, I see fathers, sisters, children. And so we need to humanize that element. They need our support. We also know that, as mentioned before, we have a crisis on our hands. These are types of situations that can lead to mental health breakdowns. We heard that there's approximately 54,000 calls coming into mental health hotlines by firefighters in the state of California. Like I said, that is not a problem. It is a crisis that we have on our hands, and we need to do more for them. We need to do better, and we can do better. So this modern day staffing plan for CAL FIRE is really going to be critical. It's absolutely necessary that we move forward with this plan and support our firefighters and save lives. If I may, I want to say a few words in Spanish as well.
Yes, please.
Thank you. Buenos días, soy la senadora Susan Rubio, representando el Distrito 22 en el Valle de San Gabriel. Aquí estamos hoy reunidos para promover protecciones para nuestros bomberos y mejores condiciones de trabajo. Queremos crecer el número de bomberos, aproximadamente 1,000 posiciones, para proteger no solamente las viviendas, el medio ambiente, pero más importante, las vidas de estos bomberos que todos los días arriesgan sus vidas para nuestra protección. Muchas gracias. And I will turn it over to you. Thank you.
Senator, thank you for your work, both as chairwoman of insurance, but of course, a leader in the Senate on wildfire resiliency and response. We're grateful that you're here today. Thank you. It's wonderful to see you as always. Now, I would like to be able to turn it over to Assemblymember Laura Friedman, who has also been an outspoken champion on all issues of fire resilience and response. Assemblymember, it's wonderful to see you. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Senator. And I want to applaud Senator McGuire and all of my colleagues for leading this effort. I'm very proud to play a small role in this as well. I represent a fire impacted area. And in fact, years ago when I was on the Glendale City Council, watched a large chunk of the Angeles forest burn down the hill towards Glendale and Lock, and saw myself with my own eyes how strained the resources were when it came to protecting houses and lives here in the Los Angeles area. Now, those mega fires used to be rare, but unfortunately with global warming and changing hydrology and drought, they're becoming a very commonplace occurrence. And as Senator Hertzberg wisely said, our number one responsibility as elected officials and of government is to protect public health. And we can do that by being resilient and by being ready. Now, we've invested billions of dollars in the last few years in wildfire preparedness, but all that fancy equipment doesn't mean anything without highly trained fire professionals to work that equipment. Now, they risk their lives protecting us and our communities, and it's our responsibility to support them. And that means making sure that we have enough people on every engine to keep those firefighters safe and to make sure that they are prepared for any emergency that can come up. So it's very, very important that we invest in that public safety. And there's one other point that I want to raise, which has to do with mutual response. Now, I'm always very proud when I hear that my Glendale and my Burbank firefighters are off supporting CAL FIRE in other parts of the state. But that also means that our local resources can be stretched very thin when our firefighters are somewhere else across the state. So we need to make sure that we have enough of those CAL FIRE firefighters in place that we don't have to stretch our local firefighting teams. When there's a drought in one part of the state, there's a drought in other parts of the state. When we have wind events in the Central Valley or in the northern part of the state, we often are having the same conditions here at home. And it's very frightening for me as an elected official to think that my community might be shorthanded because of backfilling the needs that CAL FIRE has. So this is something that affects everyone across the state, regardless of where you live. And it's high time that we supported our firefighters and truly made the investments that we need to keep our community safe. Thanks again, Senator, for having me here today.
Really well said, Assemblymember. Just want to say thank you for your leadership, and we're grateful that you would take time out of your busy schedule to be here, and you have been a champion on this. So thank you so much. She has been with us also from the very beginning, and I want to say thank you so much to Senator Shannon Grove. It's wonderful to see you. We were together back in January on this exact issue. Senator Grove, the floor is yours, and grateful for your partnership.
Thank you. I'm Senator Grove, and I represent the Central Valley. And I want to take a moment to thank Senator McGuire for his leadership on this issue. And I'm so pleased to be part of this bipartisan legislation. We're in a critical time when it comes to preparing for a wildfire season. Record-breaking wildfires have devastated our communities across California, putting immense pressure on our firefighters for weeks on end. I want to tell you that it's my honor to be here today working with my colleagues to not only address and talk about the staff shortages that we have with our firefighters, but putting together a bipartisan solution to fix it. This legislation that will come forth is a critical down payment to fund additional firefighters so that when the time comes, they can protect life, property, and natural resources for all Californians. Again, I want to thank Senator McGuire for his leadership on this, and I look forward to working with all of my colleagues to administer and find a complete solution for the years to come. Thank you.
Senator Grove, let's just be honest, we couldn't do this without you, and this issue crosses party lines. It's about putting the safety and health of all Californians first, and really grateful for Senator Grove and her leadership and partnership. Thank you so much, Senator Grove. The next individual we're going to introduce has spent literally her entire life fighting for workers, fighting for working families across this state. And her name is Senator Maria Elena Durazo. She represents the great city of LA. Senator Durazo, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Senator McGuire, for your leadership, the CAL FIRE leadership, my colleagues, and especially the CAL FIRE firefighters. You've been answering the call across our state to help fellow Californians fighting these terrible, devastating wildfires in lots of communities, including LA County, the Screwball Fire, the Woolsey Fire, and among many others. Now, in Los Angeles, we are fortunate to have LA City and LA County fire departments among the largest and most active local fire departments in the country to protect our community. And although they are robust and always answer the call here in other parts of the state, I recognize that our first responders are performing superhuman work at an intense and very exhausting pace. As chair of Senate Budget Sub 5 Committee, I'm committed to working with my colleagues here, with our Cal OES and CAL FIRE leaders on coordinating the response that we need and the mutual aid. And by increasing the firefighting workforce, we're also expanding the career opportunities and creating new opportunities for people across the state. This effort with other proposals that we will evaluate in the budget to address operations, fleet, mutual aid, and other response needs are going to put us in a better place to increase the workforce, the first response workforce, and the resources that you need. So thank you all very much. God bless you for the work that you do, and thank you for letting me be a part of this. Thank you, Senator McGuire.
Senator Durazo, your work on the budget is so critical, and it means so much to us that you're here, and especially with Senator Durazo's outstanding track record and her dedication to improving the lives of working families up and down this state. Thank you so much, Senator Durazo. It's great to see you. We are so honored that our next speaker is with us. Thank you so much to Assemblymember Wendy Carrillo. She is coming to us live from the great city of Los Angeles. Assemblymember Carrillo, the floor is yours. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Can you hear me okay?
You're coming in loud and clear.
All right, great. Thank you. And good morning, everyone. My name is Assemblywoman Wendy Carrillo. I proudly represent the 51st, now 52nd district, which includes the communities of Northeast LA and East Los Angeles. And thank you to now Majority Leader McGuire for the invitation to join you all today, as well as my colleagues and all of you. I'm excited to stand alongside CAL FIRE and all the courageous firefighters here with us today and those throughout the state. The brave individuals who choose to risk their lives every day doing this work have felt the heat for far too long, working overtime up to 40 days in a row without a day off, and they deserve our help. A need for an adequate workforce is necessary to address staffing shortages and fight against the personal burnout, fatigue, and mental health challenges that have already been addressed on today's call. CAL FIRE firefighters risk their lives on a daily basis to protect the health and safety of our communities and our environment. For many of us that care about climate change, we know that unless we take control of this new normal that are California wildfires, we will always be on defense, and we should be on offense. We should be proactive, and we should be doing more to support CAL FIRE and therefore our communities. Count me in. The time is now, protecting the well-being of our brave firefighters and providing the resources needed for success, and we have to do that now. And again, I chair one of the budget subcommittees as well, and what we do through the budget is a reflection of our values. And so just know that this bipartisan effort is an effort to ensure that California continues to lead and that we are always putting people first. Thank you.
What a wonderful way to end that very eloquent talk today. Senator Carrillo, thank you for your work, and thank you for your focus in the budget as well. We are so appreciative that you're with us today. We now would like to be able to turn the floor over to Assemblymember Tom Lackey. Mr. Lackey, it's wonderful to see you. Thank you for all of your hard work. The floor is yours, sir. You're on mute, sir.
Thank you. It certainly is an honor to join you, and I want to thank you, Senator McGuire, for having the foresight to put together this legislation that is so well deserved. For those who don't know, I represent a portion of California. It's the beginning of the high desert up here, and we have multiple fires that seem to come way too routinely. In fact, as I've had to leave my home twice to be evacuated because of fires that one came all the way to the edge of my street. So this is a very real thing for me. I've actually been on the scene of, I'm a former California highway patrolman, and I understand the incident command system and the complexities and making sure that we have unified command, and the coordination that takes place by CAL FIRE is very, very impressive. Very thankful for their training, for their commitment to public safety. I'm the vice chair of public safety, and I think there are a few things that are more important to our entire public than public safety. Here in politically rancorous times, this is a uniting issue that we all can come together and realize and support those who bravely face death. As I might have indicated once before, I've been on the scene where 2 firefighters lost their lives. It's a very real threat that actually, unfortunately, does happen from time to time. And so very proud to be part of this coalition of support that is so well deserved. And there are a few things that are more important than protecting our life and our property. So thank you for allowing me to join you, and very proud to do so.
Senator Lackey, thank you for being here today, and thank you for your commitment to keeping California safe, both as an assembly member and, of course, your career in public safety. Thank you so much, sir. It's good to see you. It is such a pleasure to be able to introduce our next speaker. We want to say thank you so much to Assemblywoman Blanca Rubio, who, again, is a champion for firefighters up and down the state. Assemblywoman, we are so grateful that you would join us today. The floor is yours. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me here. I am Blanca Rubio. I represent the 48th Assembly District, which is the East San Gabriel Valley. And my district was also a victim to the Bobcat Fire. And so I want to thank the firefighters for all of their work. And I am a former school teacher, so I know that for years we've been just complacent about having our services provided by the firefighters. We just thought it was the norm. As we do teachers, we just thought that was the normal, that it was always going to be the normal. And now that all has changed. So I want to make sure that we thank our firefighters for their work. And again, I join in the fight to help with the staffing. I know how critical it is for our firefighters to be well-trained, mentally stable, and of course, to have plenty of our firefighters in action. And know that I am with you in the fight. Thank you, Senator McGuire, for your leadership on this. And again, count me in to fight along with you on this issue. My next door neighbor is a firefighter, so I get to hear the stories directly from him. So I want to thank you again for the sacrifices that you make, and again, thank your families. Please pass along that we thank your families for the sacrifices that they make every time you're out fighting for us. So thank you so much. And again, Senator McGuire, thank you for your leadership.
So, and thank you for mentioning that in regards to the families of these hardworking women and men and how critical that is. So, thank you. We are grateful that you're here and honored for your words today. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, those who are journalists, we want to say how much we appreciate you joining us. We're going to ask all of those members of the press to be able to use the raise the hand feature within Zoom to see if there are any questions or comments as the press starts using that raise the hand feature in Zoom. We also want to say thank you to the California professional firefighters who have also endorsed this legislation. It's a unified front with CAL FIRE, Firefighters Local 2881, along with the California professional firefighters who are pushing this. But really, we wouldn't be here today, if I could just be blunt, without Tim Edwards, the president of CAL FIRE, Firefighters Local 2081. President Edwards, thank you for your leadership. We're going to be taking questions and comments from members of the press. We'll see if there is anyone who would like to be able to ask a question at this time. Using that raise the hand feature, we'll get you immediately. All right. Seeing no questions or comments from the press at this time, we want to say thanks to each and every one of you for joining us today. This legislation will be moving forward in the coming weeks. It will start in the Senate, and with any luck, moving out of the Senate, going into the Assembly. And with these champions here on today's Zoom, we know that we can be successful by working together in a bipartisan coalition. We want to say thank you again to each of the members who are with us today. We're incredibly grateful for your leadership. Thank you to the women and men of CAL FIRE who keep our community safe. We have several who are on the line today. We owe you a debt of gratitude. And of course, to all of our journalists who have joined us, thank you so much. We're going to be concluding this press conference now. Thank you all for joining. Thank you so much.